Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
Go ahead, Shop.
I fucking dare.
I just have to say, man, I'm disappointed in you, Steve, because I'm little Steve right now in this space.
Okay.
I used to play ball. It used to be all right.
Won the national championship.
And I remember when I won the championship and I was getting drafted, there was only one guy that spoke good about me that whole time. And I was getting drafted, walking on that stage, and that voice was Stephen A. Smith. I can't believe McCants is still over there. He's a national champion. He gave me a whole monologue about when he gets to Minnesota, he plays next to Kevin Garnett, he gonna tear it up. All he gotta do is show up. Now I'm looking at this space. The only thing that disappointed me was what happened the other night. And you held this standard of being a strong stand-up nigga. I'm gonna stand 10 toes no matter who come at me, and you've always done that. And I think that I presented myself as the same type of nigga. And I think they're scared of me because your only flaw is that you didn't play. Guess what I did? So I'm the Stephen A. that played, that got stats. Imagine how hated I am gonna be when I come for your spot, boy. I want 100 million too.
That's fair.
So you can't be bowing down to no king we going to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the GOAT James Kingdom channel. I'm your host, A. Johnny Bakari, coming with a special episode of the GJK Sports Reports, as we're going to be discussing how Rashad McCants admitted to the Jordan media fan base and how he himself has aspirations to be the most highest paid guy in the basketball world to talk the game of basketball, like Stephen A. Smith. You heard him say Stephen A. Smith is he's a mini me. He's a mini Stephen A. Smith. That is the most hilarious and the most zestiest thing I've ever heard from a Zesty Jeffrey in my life. The man legitimately admires Stephen A. Smith for hating on LeBron James. And I've always stated that there is a large Jordan fan within the media fan base, right? Within the media, basically within the media base in general, that basically control the narrative on basketball. That's how you can have Shaquille O'Neal go on live television last night and critique Zion Williamson because he couldn't score 6 more points or 4 more points that Shaq required, although he did everything else that you would want from your ball club and your player. But this is what we've been talking about here in GOAT James Kingdom, how the Zesty Jeffries are running social media. They're running the mainstream media. They are controlled because they are obsessed with Michael Jordan and the fact that LeBron James is surpassing Michael Jordan as the GOAT of basketball. They won't allow it to happen on their watch. You heard this man speak. Now, I've always stated this. Stephen A. Smith just signed an illustrious contract with ESPN and ABC. He's also the executive producer of the show that he calls the #1 sports show in America. So he's also in charge of what they talk about, how they talk about, how the show's directed. Again, they had a Michael Jordan Day. February 23rd of 2023, they had an official Michael Jordan Day. An entire day at ESPN dedicated towards Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has been paying the media for so long. In fact, on the same interview and the same show with Stephen A. Smith on the Gills Arena, shout out to all those fellows over there. Thank you, Kenyon Martin, for finally getting Stephen A. Smith outside of his element and within the element of where the brothers can speak, right? Well, we saw Stephen A. Smith that we ain't seen in a long time yesterday. But this man legitimately said in front of all of them that he had to throw a negotiation price at Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan kept coming at him about stuff that Michael Jordan wants him to say on behalf of Michael Jordan. He told Michael Jordan $250,000. Michael Jordan said, "What's that?" He said, "That's what I'm charging you to be your publicist. I need $250K if you want me out here just saying everything that you want me to say for you." The man legitimately said that he had to tell Mike, "Man, stop, leave me alone." We already know how Mike is. Mike is very sensitive about his persona, about his image, and about his brand. And rightly so. The man is worth billions of dollars predicated on his brand. So I get that. But when the Zesty Jeffries lie to us and try to make it seem like Clutch Sports is out here paying Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, to go out on television and gloat about LeBron James's greatness, which is not hard to do. You don't even have to pay nobody to do it. Just like the motel room said the other day, talking LeBron is very easy. Talking the all-time greatest player of all time, that's an easy conversation. You don't really need to pay nobody hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars to do this. But we all know the #1 Zesty Jeffrey, the leader of the Zesty Jeffrey, not only is he a client, but he's the president of the Zesty Jeffrey Coalition. Stephen A. Smith is getting paid the most money out of all sports figures to talk sports, and all he does is defend Michael Jordan left and right. And he had McCants showing his aspirations to be $100 million man. He wanted to be like Stephen A. And he was disappointed that Stephen A. didn't check LeBron for LeBron checking Stephen A. You heard him say, "We got to conquer the king." They talk about us being zesty and calling LeBron James King James. They out here talking about conquering his kingdom. You know they couldn't come to GJK with that nonsense. That we already know. We already know they can't do that. But we know that Stephen A. Smith is the leader of the Zesty Jeffries. It's gotten so bad, right, for Stephen A. Smith, right, and what's been going on, because he's been disappointing the Zesty Jeffries. He went on national television the other day calling LeBron the GOAT and saying the GOAT debate is over. Then he got checked by LeBron James. Not to mention, there's been pressure on him because people have been talking about him and been talking about the media and how bad you guys have been representing the NBA as the guys who cover the game from day-to-day basis. Right? So you have all of this going on. So Stephen A. Smith felt like he had to ally back with his homeboy, Skip Bayless. Now him and Skip Bayless are friends all of a sudden again. Now he can toss all that thing Skip Bayless said about Stephen A., all the stuff that they were going back and forth with each other for the past couple of years. Right? You stole Shannon Sharp away from Skip Bayless. That was a G move on top of that, though. That's a G move on top of that. But either way, right? This is what we got going on. And these type of guys, like a McCants and all the other Zesty Jeffries, look up to the Skip Baylesses and the Stephen A. Smiths. The majority of their logic come from these two guys. Majority of the Zesty Jeffrey logic about Michael Jordan, 6-0, Stephen A. Smith. Questioning low management, Skip Bayless. The Eastern Conference, Skip Bayless. The biggest superstar meltdown of all time, Skip Bayless. The will to win, killer instinct, killer mentality, Skip Bayless. Toughest era ever, Stephen A. Smith. Physicality, hard-nosed basketball, Stephen A. Smith. All of these logics come from these guys. It all started with them. They were the main ones. We talked about this before on GOAT James Kingdom. But people like McCants need them because let me tell you why. Well, I'm not going to tell you why. Let's let Rashad McCants explain to you why Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless are important to the Zesty Jeffrey coalition.
I spoke.
That's what I'm saying.
That it resonates.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You holding back.
I will. It's not always first.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it and everybody knew it was supposed to come out and you supposed to say it, right? So you holding that Bronny information, you holding on to it, knowing we all saying it, right? And we waiting on stand-up Steve to say it because that's going to validate it.
Right.
It's like if Steve see it, we know it's boom.
Yeah, but in that situation,
I don't know if he said anything.
I didn't.
So you heard what he said. We need you to validate this for us. Again, they always need validation. These are the same men who claim that we be glazing another man, but need another man to validate their own opinion or their own thoughts or their own actual articulated argument. He basically stated that they got to go up against a kingdom, against a whole media campaign for LeBron James. Then has the nerve to turn around and say, well, everybody thinks Bronny James can't play. We all saying this. We need you to give us the vindication. Who's all? Who's everybody? He's snitching on himself. He's talking about the Zesty Jeffrey coalition. And that's the problem, ladies and gentlemen, is that these guys, they are actually in alliance when it comes to hating LeBron James. When it comes to praising Michael Jordan, they all got their own little separate thing. It's personal to them. But when it comes to hating LeBron, they come together like nobody. They're like a lynch mob. And we already knew that this was going on through the media. So again, if Stephen A. Smith is the leader of the Zesty Jeffrey coalition, he has the #1 sports show or morning sports show in America. He is the highest paid sports figure in America. His main topic is basketball. And on top of that, he's a Zesty Jeffrey. I mean, after a while, it's no longer a coincidence. It's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's an actual conspiracy, and it's an actual act that is going on. They can't help themselves. We saw it before. As soon as somebody starts praising this era, Mr. Head of the Zesty Jeffrey Coalition got something to say about it. Every time LeBron James gets praised, Mr. McCants got something to say about it. And he out here looking like a fool. How you gonna have $100 million man sitting in your presence and you wearing a damn mask? Like, that don't make no sense. And then he was supposed to check Stephen A. Instead of checking Stephen A., he went crying to Stephen A. about how he was disappointed. He was hurt that Stephen A. didn't stand 10 toes down, didn't double down on being wrong. Because contrary to all you Zesty Jeffrey's belief, Bronny is not the worst player in the NBA draft. Forget if he's the best player in the NBA draft. He's not the worst. So there was nobody's spot he took. In fact, there were players drafted in front of him that are not better than Bronny James. And no one sat here and thought anything of Bronny James again besides his father, which is you personally attacked on national television on your #1 syndicated show on how he wasn't a good father by allowing his son to fulfill his dreams of being an NBA player. I mean, it's disgusting the type of nasty work you people do. And yet, you sat on the couch looking like this. You should have checked McCants. They should have told McCants, hold on. You don't need me to validate your words, brother. You don't need me to vindicate. What I do is what I do. You don't, like he explained, he knows, Stephen A. Smith explained how he's cool with GMs, scouts, all kind of executives and all kind of people that work within all 30 of the NBA franchises. McCants ain't one of those people. McCants don't have all that kind of connection. McCants ain't got all them kind of plugs. So why should McCants be aspiring to be you? And why are you asking me to do something that you want to do? That got nothing to do with me. Whatever kind of beef you got with LeBron McCants, that should be with you and LeBron. But they can't do that. Because he's on a media campaign. That's why he's going all over the place now. Now, he claims it was because he was negotiating his contract for the last 10 months. So he was obviously being smart about his behavior and what he was doing, which I understand. That's possibly so, right? You're negotiating your money. He's asking for big-time money. You can't give him anything to mess that up. So he stayed out of everybody's business. He tried his best. He kept to his script. We all know Stephen A. Smith could stick to the script. But it's a sad case, man, when you got grown men out here telling us that we're zesty, and here it is, Rashad McCants is out here telling Stephen A. Smith how he wants to be a mini-me. He wants to be a mini Stephen A. Smith.
Just me and you, against the world.
It don't make no sense, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what LeBron is doing, because LeBron is checking Stephen A. Smith on purpose. Because you go for the head and for the snake. See, us LeBron fans, we go right to the top. We go right to the top. We don't mess around with the little itty bitty guys. We don't mess around with you little puny pawns. We go after the rooks, the king and the queen. So LeBron went straight to Stephen A. Smith and let him know. And it's funny that Kenyon Martin and them and all of them act like LeBron was kind of wrong when Kenyon Martin himself said he already confronted Stephen A. Smith and confronted Stephen A. Smith when he saw him on site. It wasn't like he was telling us, he said he wasn't finna call no Stephen A. Smith. It wasn't none of that. He said that as soon as he saw Stephen A. Smith, and luckily he didn't see Stephen A. Smith within an NBA setting. But he said as soon as he saw Stephen A. Smith, he checked Stephen A. Smith. So LeBron had a right to do that. You call the man out for being a father, basically saying it's again, LeBron James is not putting his son in any danger. You guys are ridiculous if you think that LeBron James's words about his son means enough for you to feel like you could criticize his son. I'm hearing this thing is talking about, well, you're the one who said you wanted to play with him. You're the one who said that he's better than half the league. That's what LeBron wanted. That's what LeBron believes. Why does that change your idea of who Bronny is and being a respectable individual and understand that this is a young kid who just needs the best opportunity available to him? But instead, you feel like you have the need to criticize a 55th pick in an NBA draft, a 19-year-old. A 55th pick, the only 55th pick in your life you ever worried about, ever in your life. You've never even worried about the 55th pick in an NFL draft, and that's the second round. Y'all are something else, man. Y'all are zesty, and y'all show it every day. Yeah, and it's getting worse because the more LeBron does what LeBron does, and y'all are happy now because the Lakers don't have LeBron playing. They're on a 2-game losing streak. They don't have half of their starting lineup available to them, right? Austin Reeves has somehow lost his shot in these last couple of games. We still see Luka trying to figure his way out in a new territory, new everything. And in the entire Lakers playbook is different. They're running different things that they were running from the beginning of the season. And that's why the Zesty Jeffries, and that's why Stephen A. Smith told us, hey, y'all, let's pause on the GOAT debate, because he went for reinforcements. He out here recruiting Kenyon Martin, Rashad McCants, Skip Bayless is back. They're out here trying to get back together and collaborate. And yet we got Laker fans out here upset about Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. And Anthony Davis, out of all things. The Zesty Jeffries they're not done with us. And I keep telling y'all this. And they control the media. They're all over the media. They're the big dogs in the media. There's Jordan fan bases within executive producers amongst all these programs that we watch. And let's not forget all the Zesty Jeffrey writers that still exist in today's NBA. All these sports reporters, the guys like Chris Broussards, the Rob Parkers. They're all Jordan guys, and they're diehard Jordan guys. They won't relinquish that title to Jordan. Not that easy. And like I said, if you're waiting for LeBron James to win a championship in his 22 NBA season to make him surpass Michael Jordan, you might as well just keep Michael Jordan as you go. You wasted 22 years of your life. But again, Rashad McCants proved our point here in GOAT James Kingdom, that there is a Jordan media fan base. Stephen A. Smith is the pure example of it. He's their aspiration. He is their motivation. They want to be like him. They want to make millions of dollars talking about the game while also praising Michael Jordan and discrediting LeBron James. That's what they want. The other day I was told I want to be on Gilbert Arenas' show. Well, guess what? Rashad McCants doesn't want to be on Gilbert Arenas' show. He wants to be on First Take or Inside NBA on TNT. And don't let them sign Gilbert Arenas to some kind of contract to be on there for a couple of days a week. Stephen A. will be in trouble. Stephen A. will be in trouble. And Gil won't last long on First Take. He won't. As soon as he challenged, if not, we're gonna see a different Gil like we saw yesterday. Everybody was calling Gil out in his show yesterday on the chat line, saying he was real quiet, and he made some good points though about LeBron James wanting to play with his son, how NBA players are never there as fathers for their kids because it's in and out. It's a hectic schedule for an NBA player, and to finally have an opportunity not only to play with his son but to be with his son throughout the season. On top of that, why not make him a Laker? My thing is the whole other thing. LeBron, exactly what Stephen A. Smith was saying about how LeBron should be protecting his son is exactly why LeBron James made sure Bronny James was on the Lakers. To protect his son. His son couldn't be protected on the Phoenix Suns. His son can't be protected on the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's not nowhere near close to home. He has to be close to home, close to what's going on with what Rich Paul and all them want to do with Bronny James. So to protect Bronny James, they made him a Laker in a good organization, a good franchise. There's only two franchises that could have protected Bronny James from all you Zesty Jeffries, and that would be the Los Angeles Lakers and the Miami Heat. And we know the Miami Heat were not going to go for that because we already got enough drama in Miami. We were not going to sign another drama in Bronny James, which is a development. You're not going to get no development player, but the Lakers obviously have a different idea, right? So again, this is what we have to deal with. So as long as these people exist in the world and we have guys like Stephen A. Smith, guys like Skip Bayless, guys like Rob Parker, guys like Rashad McCants, they're always going to be used, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is what Zesty Jeffries, that's why they love these guys' quotes. You go to any other of these channels of any other of these content creators that hate on LeBron, a lot of their content is predicated on who said what. This player said this. Did you hear what this player just said? It's always them needing to be vindicated, and obviously Rashad McCants proved it with this particular segment right here.
I spoke.
That's what I'm saying.
That it resonates.
That's what I'm saying.
But
you holding back.
I will. But it's not always work.
But you holding back sometimes works against you because you could have said it when everybody was feeling it and everybody knew it was supposed to come out and you supposed to say it, right? So you holding that Bronny information, you holding on to it, knowing we all saying it, right? And we waiting on stand-up Steve to say it because that's going to validate it. Right. It's like if Steve see it, we know it's boom.
Yeah, but in that situation,
I don't know if he said anything.
I didn't.
See? He said it. He was like, he basically said it, bro. You gonna validate it, bro. We waiting for you. Cause we getting killed out here, man. Everybody out here telling us all this other stuff. These LeBron sexuals are crazy. They're delusional. They're glazing over their king. Like he said, we trying to come out here. Mar's so stupid. Mar say, stand up, Steve. Stand up for your team, man. Yeah, they all need it. They all need it. They all looking for it. They all need the validation from Stephen A. Smith. They need it. They need it. They need guys like that. See, Skip Bayless had put himself in the bad corners. So only the radicals deal with Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless is the extreme of the Zesty Jeffries. But they respect him because they understand his passion. They understand his love for Michael Jordan. But this guy, and now he got a big contract. Y'all should have heard him talking yesterday. He was real greasy. Talking about LeBron could have called him. He would have flew out to L.A. Well, they did call you, and you made fun of LeBron James and them trying to reach out to you to speak to you about the conversation. Bro, some of you guys don't be understanding that there's karma out here in the world, bruh. You got to know how to like I always tell people, walk with your left foot forward. And that means walking with your heart first. Stop walking with your ego. I mean, again, these guys have been doing it for years now. It started back in 2007 when people were telling Skip Bayless, LeBron James is the next one. He is the chosen one. And Skip wouldn't accept it. And Skip, from there on out, made it his mission to prove to everybody that LeBron James would never be the likes of Michael Jordan. And that's the argument for the Michael Jordan Zesty Jeffrey fan base, is how no one is like Michael Jordan. He's a special human being. They make him to seem like he's ungodly, unworldly, unfathomed, and he's just that dude. And we all have to look back at that and think that of Michael Jordan. And they won't allow it. And that's what Mr. McCants was begging for. Please stand 10 toes down, because we have to conquer the king. I can't have you out here being disrespectful towards us and what we represent for the sake of your scariness of LeBron James. Because we all know he was scared. Stephen A. was scared. LeBron walk up on you. LeBron James is a man. I heard Kenyon Martin say he would have threw some hands. Come on, Kenyon Martin, let's be real. You don't. The first thing you do when somebody conversates with you in an altercation isn't to throw hands. Now, we do know you're going to throw them, right? We know we're not going to back down, but that's not the first thing you're going to do if somebody walk up on you, right? Especially if it's LeBron James. I know y'all got some camaraderie as players. And you understand it because you discussed it about with your son, right? And he tried to use Gilbert Arenas. This was the most vicious part about the whole thing yesterday, was how he was like, oh, Gilbert Arenas don't talk about his son. Carmelo Anthony don't talk about his son. Kenyon, you ain't talking about your son. But nobody was asking these dudes about their sons. The only time those guys talk about their children is when you ask them about their children. Of course you're not going to talk about your children. I'm not going to just mention my kids to just anybody in public settings. But LeBron James, and everybody's asking about LeBron James. LeBron James is all you guys are obsessed with. So that's why we have to expose this today on the GJK Sports Report. Because at the end of the day, these dudes control the media. And they are a bigger media presence than anybody Clutch Sports can spend money on. Even LeBron James' media company does not have the funds, nor the resources or logistics to cover $100 million. $100 million? Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen A. Smith is set to make $20 million a year, supposedly, to talk basketball, and he really doesn't do that well. Now, he is entertaining, and they have a good show. But at the end of the day, he's a Zesty Jeffrey. And not only that, he's the leader of the Zesty Jeffrey. And he has been letting them down for quite some time now. But he has been on a campaign to redeem his image amongst the Zesty Jeffrey coalition, even to the point he gonna swallow his pride and reconnect with his boy Skip Bayless. So don't come ever on GOAT James Kingdom talking about Clutch Sports paying this, paying that. We all know Stephen A. Smith is paid, and he's popular because he's a Zesty Jeffrey. And he's the number one guy, because Skip Bayless is not the guy y'all going to run to when we talk about challenging the LeBron fan base and the LeBron James case for GOAT. Skip Bayless does not have the actual intellect to do it anymore. You guys are tired of hearing it. He's made a bad name for you guys. You told him to retire, and he's retired. But Stephen A. Smith is out in the forefront for y'all, battling everybody. He's even battling Gilbert Arenas. He's willing to battle Scottie Pippen. I mean, the man is going to war with Michael Jordan. So much so that he has to ask Michael Jordan for $250,000 to be his publicist. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is as zesty as it gets. And if for those of you guys who did not hear what Rashad McCants said, here it goes. I will play it for you here. This is Rashad McCants, the inspiring Stephen A. Mini-Me.
Go ahead, Shop. I fucking dare.
I just have to say, man, I'm disappointed in you, Steve, because I'm little Steve right now in this space.
Okay.
I used to play ball. I used to be all right.
Won the national championship.
And I remember when I won the championship and I was getting drafted, there was only one guy that spoke good about me that whole time. And I was getting drafted, walking on that stage, and that voice was Stephen A. Smith. I can't believe McCants is still over there. He's a national champion. He gave me a whole monologue about when he gets to Minnesota, he plays next to Kevin Garnett, he gonna tear it up. All he gotta do is show up. Now I'm looking at this space. The only thing that disappointed me was what happened the other night. And you held this standard of being a strong stand-up nigga. I'm gonna stand 10 toes no matter who come at me, and you've always done that. And I think that I presented myself as the same type of nigga. And I think they're scared of me because your only flaws that you didn't play. Guess what I did? So I'm the Stephen A. that played, that got stats. Imagine how hated I am gonna be when I come for your spot, boy. I want 100 million too.
Sure.
So you can't be bowing down to no king we going to conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Just me and you, just me and you, against the world.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those were his actual words. That is not us here in GOAT James Kingdom twisting his words, making it seem like it was something else. Again, these guys are a special breed of human beings. They're holding on to a legacy that has been surpassed by the great LeBron James, but they cannot let it go. So what they're going to continue to do is go all over social media, all over mainstream media, and try to discredit the GOAT of basketball, which is one LeBron James. But here in GOAT James Kingdom, we are not concerned with that because Brandon and I, we are the true clutch sports hitmen. All right? If y'all want to talk about people who get paid to represent LeBron James, I guess it would be us. Not by Clutch Sports, but by our GOAT James Kingdom members and obviously our GOAT James Kingdom supporters. Because again, we do the GOAT James Kingdom show every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Obviously, also, we do the Friday night exposure with the exposer on Friday nights right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, also on FYF Sports Debate. But today's program obviously is a special GJK Reports where we are again breaking down how the Jordan media fan base actually does exist and they're uniting together and they're calling on an alliance to try to eliminate all of the LeBron fan base camp about how we speak about LeBron James, how we keep pointing out Michael Jordan's flaws, how we keep breaking down all of their lies and their myths about the 90s and Michael Jordan in particular. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue to do breaking news like this with the GJK Report, so please don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, comment, also share the content on other platforms, like we are also on Facebook, TikTok, Discord, Instagram, Twitter. We're also on Playback TV as well, so you can join us there on Playback TV, where you can watch basketball with us on Playback TV.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we not only talk the game of basketball, we actually watch it. And by becoming a member of GOAT James Kingdom, you'll have access to watch the games with us right here on Playback TV /GOAT James Kingdom. All GOAT James Kingdom members will have access to watch the games with us, especially when the Los Angeles Lakers face anyone in the NBA. Also, we'll be going live with other games and other streams regarding the basketball. If you like the content here in GOAT James Kingdom, please hit that like button, comment, become a subscriber to the channel, and also don't forget to become a member of GOAT James Kingdom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we won't hold you any longer on a beautiful night like this. So please, thank you again for joining me again. This is the GJK Reports right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. I'm A. Johnny the Exposer. You guys have a wonderful night. Peace and blessings.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy BB and A. Johnny talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing, and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.